In the last lecture, we had a high-level overview of what do we mean by authentication and authorization. Now, before we can implement authentication in our Express application, we need to have some users in the database. And for that, in this lecture, we are going to implement a sign up or the registration functionality in our Web API application. Now, in order to create new users, the first thing which we need is we need a user schema and we need a user model. And in one of the previous lectures, we have already created a user schema, and using that, we created a user model and we are exporting it from this user.js file. So when we are going to create a user, for that user, we need to specify the first name of the user, last name of the user, email of the user. Photo, it is not required, so we don't need to provide it initially. But later in this course, we are going to implement the profile picture upload functionality. So at that time, for this photo also, we will pass some value. And then we need the password of the user and the confirm password. In order to compare these two passwords, if they match, then only we are going to create the user. And then since here we have specified the timestamps as true, this option will also create a created date and updated date field. And that I'll show you in a bit. But we already have the model using which we are going to create new users. Now in the controllers folder, I'm going to create a new controller and I'm going to call it as auth controller. Here, I'm not going to call it as user controller because in this controller file, we are going to create functions for authentication related things. Like we are going to create a sign up function, we are going to create a login function, we are going to create forgot password function, and we are going to create reset password function. So all these functionalities are related to authentication, and that's why I'm calling this controller as auth controller. Later, we will also create a user controller, and in that user controller, we will have functions for updating the user detail, deleting a user, etc. So let's create this controller file, and inside this controller file, we are going to create a function for signing up a user. So if I go to hotelscontroller.js, there we are creating a function like this. So on the exports object, we are creating a property, and to that we are assigning a function. And this function we are also passing to this catch async function, so that inside this function, it is an async function. So inside this function, if there is any error, that will be handled by this catch async function. And the same thing we are going to do inside this auth controller.js. So here I'm going to create a function. So for that, on the export object, I'm going to create a variable and I'll call it as sign up. Basically, I'm creating a property and I'm calling it as sign up. And here I'm going to call the catch async function. Okay, and to use this catch async function, we also need to require it. And to this function, I'm going to pass an async function. So here, let me go and let me create an async function. And here I'm going to use the arrow function syntax. And this function, since this function will be called by Express, it is going to pass the request object here. So let me call it as request. It is going to pass the response object and the next function. All right. And here it should be actually exports. So on the exports object, we are creating this sign up property. Now, what do we want to do inside this function? Using this function, we want to create a new user and we are going to get the user data in the request body. Okay. And remember that whenever we are going to make a sign up request, basically we are going to make a post request. Okay. And with the post request, in the request body, we will have the user details with which we want to create a user. So here I'm going to create a variable and I'll call it as new user. And to create new user on the user model, and to use this user model, we also need to import it. So let's also require user model here. For that, let's use this require function. And to this, let's pass the path of the user.js file. So from the current directory, we will go one directory up. In that, we have this models directory, and inside that, we have user.js file from where we are exporting the user model. Okay, and I'm going to use this user model, and on that, I'm going to call the create method to create a new user. Now again, from where we are going to get the details of the user, because in order to create the user, we need the first name of the user, last name of the user, email of the user, password of the user, etc. So that detail, as I mentioned, this route handler function will be called when we are going to make a post request. So with the post request, in the request body, we will have the user data with which we want to create the user. So we are going to read the request body. For that, on the request object, we are going to access its body property. We are going to read the request body, and using that, we are going to create a new user in the database. Now this code here, it is going to run asynchronously. We have learned that this create method, it is going to run asynchronously. And since it is going to run asynchronously, it is going to return us a promise. Either it will return us a resolved promise if the user is created successfully, or it will return us a rejected promise. If it returns us a rejected promise, that rejected promise will be handled by this catch async function. But if it returns us a resolved promise, in that case, it is going to return us the newly created user object. So here we need to wait for that promise to either get resolved or rejected. And for that, here I'm going to use the await keyword. Okay. And again, this create function, either it will throw an error if the user is not created. In that case, that error will be handled by this catch async function. But if the user is created successfully, it is going to return us a user object, which will be assigned to this new user variable. So now from this function, I'm simply going to send a response. I'm going to set the status to 201, which means created. And from here, we want to send a JSON data in the response. And in the data, first of all, I want to have the status property, which I'm going to set to success. And I'm going to have a data property. Here I'm using enveloping, and inside that I'm going to have a user property, and to this user property I'm going to assign this newly created user. So this is the response which we want to send when the sign up is successful. That means when a user is created in the database. Let's save this file. The next thing which we are going to do is we are going to create a router for auth. So again, in here, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it as auth router.js. And inside this, we are going to create a router. So here we need few things. First, we need Express. So I'm going to require Express. Then let me close this hotels controller.js file. And then we are going to require this auth controller inside this file. So again, I'm going to create a variable. I'll simply call it as auth controller. And here we are going to require auth controller. So we need to go to controllers folder, and in there we have auth controller. Then we also need to create a router. So I'm going to create a variable. I'll call it as auth router. You can name this variable anything. You can also simply call it as router. Okay, and to create this router, on the Express object, we have a method called router. So we need to call this method. And using this router, we are going to define some routes. In this lecture, I'm going to define a single route. So here I'll say auth router dot, and since we want to create a route, we are going to use this route function. There we will specify what will be the route. So here the route is going to be slash sign up. Okay, and then this route is going to handle a post request. So here we are using this post method for that. And in here we are going to specify which route handler function should be called when a post request is made to this route. Here in this case, I want to execute this sign up route handler function. So on this auth controller, we will have a sign up function which we want to call. And that's it. From here, let's also go ahead and let's export this router. So here I'll say module.exports, and I want to export this auth router. Let's save the changes here. And finally, let's go to app.js file. And in there, just like how we have defined a route for hotels resource, for the users resource, in the same way, I'm also going to define a route for the auth resource. So here, the resource is auth. So the endpoint is /API/v1/auth. And for that here, I want to call auth router. So let me scroll up, and from here, I'll copy this line. I'll paste it here, and here I'm going to create a new variable. I'll call it as auth router, and here I'm going to require the auth router file, authrouter.js file. Let's save the changes. Let's go ahead and let's use this auth router. So here we want to use auth router. In this auth router, we have defined one endpoint, which is for this sign up. Okay, so whenever a request comes to /API/v1/auth/sign up, it is going to call this sign up route handler function. So with this, let's save the changes. Let's go to terminal just to check if we have any error. We do not have any error, and connection to DB is also successful. Now let's try to create a new user. So first of all, let me save this request and let's close it. Let me also close this request and this request. And here we have this users folder where we have get all users and get users by ID requests created, but we are not interested in this right now. Here I'm going to create a new request. I want to make a post request, and here I want to make a post request to localhost colon 3000/API/v1/auth, and after that /sign up. Now here we are making a post request, and this sign up function, it is expecting a request body. So for that, let's go to body tab, and in here let's add a request body. So let me remove all these properties from here, and here the user should have a first name. Let's say first name is John. Then I'm going to copy this line. Then let's specify last name. Let's say last name is Smith. Let's specify email, and let's say email is johnsmith@gmail.com. Then we need to specify password because password is a required field. And for the password, let's say password is test1234. And then let's specify confirm password field as well. And for the confirm password, again, let's specify the value as test1234. Okay, and here text is selected, but actually it should be JSON. So let me copy this object from here and let's select JSON. So now it is a JSON data. Okay, and now if I send a request, let's see what happens. When I send this request, we have received the response, and you will see that the response is 201 created. And in the response, we have received a JSON data where the status is success. And if you see the data there, we have the user. The user first name is John, last name is Smith, email is johnsmith@gmail.com. And then this is the password and confirm password. And you will also see that we also have this created at and updated at field. This created at and updated at field is added by the timestamp. So if I go to models, and there again, if I open user.js, there we have added this option timestamp true. So what this option does is, in the database, it adds these two properties and it automatically updates them. So you can see the created at and updated at is same at this point, but in future whenever we will update a user document, this updated at field will be updated by that date and time. And if I go to compass, and there if I refresh this book my stay database, for that what I'll do is I will refresh this connection, and now you will see we have a new collection called users. And if I go to this collection, there we have one document where the first name is John, last name is Smith, email is johnsmith@gmail.com, and password is test1234. And we also have the created at and updated at data. So now we are able to create a new user in the MongoDB collection from our Express application. Now here, I also want to show you one more thing. So if I go back to the model, there you will see that we have specified that this email should be unique. And here, let me also go ahead and let me specify a validation error message for that. And here I'll simply say a user with same email already exists. Let's save the changes here. So since this email field is unique, if I try to create a new user, let's say John Doe, okay, but I'm not going to change the email. So with this email, we already have a user. If I try to create this user with the same email, we should get a validation error. If I send the request, you will see that we have an error. And the error says a user with same email already exists. So we cannot create two or more users with the same email. The email should be unique for each user. Because this email, we are going to use it as the username while logging in the user. Okay, so if I change the email here from John Smith, if I change it to John Doe, and then if I send the request, in that case, with this email, we do not have any user, so this user will be created. As you can see, that user is also created. Now let me try to create a new user called Mark, and let's say last name is what, and here email is markwhat@gmail.com. And for the password, let's say password is test1234, but for the confirm password, let's say I mistyped it to 12345. So in this case, since the password and confirm password do not match, this user should not be created. But here, if I send the request, you will see that we have received this 201 response. That means this user is also created, even though the password and confirm password is not matching. But that should not be the case. So now we need to handle this scenario also, where if the confirm password is not same as password, in that case, the user should not be created. Only if password and confirm password match, then only we want to create the user. Let's see how we can do that in our next lecture. Before that, let's go to Compass and let's see if those two users are also created or not. So you can see now we have three users in the database. And for the third user, the password and confirm password field do not match. So this user should not have been created. All right, this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.